Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Moods, Minds, and Manifestations podcast, featuring real people, real experiences, and real talk. And I'm your host, Moca. So like most people, my knowledge of politics is limited. But I have followed US government and politics more and more in recent times. I try to look at it from a logical, common sense, human affecting point of view. Because of course it's based on laws and traditions that affect the quality of life that we the people have. Unfortunately, to put it very mildly, it has devolved into a really bad soap opera or reality show. So the past several months or so have been really interesting. Just when you think the society can't get any more divisive and chaotic, now the institution that we rely upon to uphold the highest form of justice and integrity, SCOTUS, the Supreme Court of the United States, is being permeated by the almighty ego. It's rearing its ugly head daily, it seems. So apparently, allegedly, one justice has been receiving high-valued gifts and benefiting from socializing with influential people for decades. At first, it was not disclosed by him. There were media reports on it with facts, details, and receipts. But more recently, he had to disclose gifts as required on financial disclosures. But of course, that was after he got caught. Then, in the past week or two, it was also revealed in a published mainstream media article with facts that another justice flew an upside-down U.S. flag outside his home between January 6th, the date of the insurrection, and the time of the inauguration. My understanding is that flying the flag upside down is a symbol for distress, not to mention the reverence that is normally shown to the flag itself. Then, on top of that, allegedly, there was another flag associated with the January 6th insurrection that flew outside his beach vacation home as well. When questioned about the flags and other things by members of Congress, he responded in a letter placing the blame on his wife and claimed it had something to do with a dispute with a neighbor. But then, said neighbor went public, stating that the flag at their home was in that upside-down position prior to any dispute, and gave actual dates and some details of the dispute, as she had filed a police report. Based on the interview that she gave, which I watched, she gave details about it being a contentious interaction with the justice's wife, while the justice stood by and did nothing. Allegedly, this past week, there was also leaked audio of him giving his not-so-impartial religious-based opinions when questioned and prodded by a stranger at a function. Meanwhile, the Chief Justice, who attended the same function and was posed and prodded with the same line of questions, responded appropriately, impartial, as he should be. And at the same function, allegedly, the flag-flying justice's wife had a very open conversation with the same stranger. Based on what I heard of this recording, the woman speaking was full of bombast and by all accounts confirming suspicions that her flag flying was intentional, and she opined having to look at LGBTQ flags flying during Pride Month. She also fantasized about other flags she wanted to fly and how she would get back at anyone, particularly the media, if they came for her. And apparently she's also looking ahead to when her husband retires, and then they would be free citizens, free to express themselves however they choose. They have a right to do that, of course, but not if it's imposing and making other people's lives difficult. U.S. justices are supposed to be neutral, and we assume they should embody the utmost integrity. I mean, yes, we give a lot of praise and power to these mere humans, but until recent times, they at least gave the appearance of impartiality and integrity. therefore maintaining respect from the masses. Now, their egos seem to have gotten the better of them, and they don't care to hide their true feelings. But alas, sign of the times. Every day I look at the news or watch yet another congressional or Senate hearing, I feel like I'm in a Jerry Springer-esque Twilight Zone. It's like a school without teachers, a prison without guards, just a free-for-all. I see a lot of congressmen and congresswomen who do not have enough knowledge of how government is run, more focused on delivering a daily soap opera episode, and there must be some award that I don't know about for the most outrageous because they are aggressive, classless, obnoxious, disrespectful, and spew untruths and twisted opinions as if it were a sport. It's not until they're confronted with facts that they pipe down a bit. But as they stand where they stand in government, people tend to believe them, not knowing it is just performative and to be seen and hopefully even acknowledged by name by he who they deem sovereign. I say all this to say, don't take democracy and the institutions that you've been accustomed to for granted. Times are different now. Common sense, decency, integrity are no longer the norm, but the exception, or optional. It's an election year and elections have consequences. Don't be a lazy voter like many of us have been. Take the time to educate yourself, even a little bit, about what is currently going on in the government and the courts and the highest court in the land and the individuals you're actually voting for. I mean, felon, sex offender, and the like will likely be on the ticket this year. Let that sink in. Your life and the life of your loved ones will be affected in one way or another. Why not educate yourself so you can make a well-informed decision about who gets to govern and pass laws and properly appropriate, not squander, your hard-earned tax dollars? Politics, U.S. government, and the legal system is not rocket science. You learned about some of it in grade school, so retap into that knowledge. And there are tons of fact-based, keyword being fact-based, news channels and independent journalists. Now, don't get these confused with opinion networks, with opinion hosts, because they are just that, opinion shows. For them, incorporating actual facts is optional, and even more so, avoided, because their goal is to be as outrageous as possible to get ratings. It's all about fame, power, and the almighty dollar for them. And clearly, they are scratching the itch of many viewers that tune in. Supply and demand. If you want truth and facts and reality, they're not it. If you're not sure, do your own research and rely on your common sense to decipher who is gaslighting and grifting and who is not. One thing that I have noticed is that some opinion hosts tend to be mean-spirited, divisive, negative, and say a lot of contradictory things that don't make sense. Then they get very combative when questioned or confronted with facts. Just ask yourself, if they're speaking the truth and truly believe it, why are they so angry when questioned about it? And just because many people from the top down repeat and regurgitate lies and misinformation, it doesn't stop being lies and misinformation. What was that term they used a while back? Alternative facts. Newsflash, it's either fact or it's not. But you, dear listener, as an individual, have to decipher and judge for yourself. Just properly educate yourself, because grifters rely on the fact that the average person doesn't follow politics. And what is it with so-called Christians, with all their hate and fear-mongering, and the we versus them, and their love of guns and their rights, but women shouldn't have a right to do what is best for their own bodies, and banning books they deem unholy, while the Bible itself is full of many of the things they speak against. Last I checked, all that is so anti-Christian. What about love thy neighbor, etc., etc.? I can't help but feel that all this ego-driven acrimony is going to build up energetically and explode, more than it has already. People just need to chill and check themselves. Are you right with God? And if you're so pro-life, live right and allow others to live their lives in peace. If you haven't already done so, please like and subscribe to hear upcoming podcasts. And please share with family and friends. Thanks for listening.